right, we want to welcome you to episode 5, Under the Influence, a music podcast. The title of this is The Way You Make Me Feel. Taking a page right out of the King of Pop, Michael Jackson's playbook there.
It's a great song.
It's a great song about making you feel some type of way about something. That's what this episode is all about.
Yes, songs that made you feel happy, sad, wanting to make a change in the world. Because
of the things going on around us in America right now. I mean, certainly not just limited to the United States.
Right.
But there is prejudice, there's racism, there's hate all around the world. But more specifically, what we're engulfed in right now in the USA.
Right. And regarding Black Lives Matter and the protesting that's been going on, I just wanted to say here locally in Morgantown, I've had a lot of friends back home tell me how proud they are of the people here and how they're protesting very peacefully and still getting that message out there.
Absolutely. Mountaineer Nation's doing it right, I feel.
Awesome.
I love that we're setting the example, and I'm not trying to brag or boast, but it's kind of a good feeling when you're one of those cities or really at the forefront of peaceful protesting and promoting change and promoting loving one another. And I think that's what this episode is really going to focus on.
Yes, definitely unity, coming together and not breaking apart. We need to come together now more than ever.
And we're going to deep dive into that in a little bit because we wrote down some songs that over time we both feel do a really good job of promoting that change.
Absolutely.
Maybe songs that still hold true today.
Yes, and I did want to say on a side note, I did want to wish Prince, who we both love, his birthday was yesterday, turned 62 in heaven, so happy birthday, Prince.
That's right, on June the 7th.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to do that episode on Prince coming up.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that might have to be a 2-part situation.
Yes.
It might be its whole mini-series.
Okay, yes.
We could probably do a whole season on Prince.
We really could. There's so much to divulge, yes.
I can't help to think that if he were alive today, seeing what's going on in the world around us, and especially in the United States of America, how much at the forefront or the front lines of this.
For sure. There would be a song about this. And just beautifully written. I just know it.
I think he would do like a whole conceptual album.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so before we really get into some of the songs, let's recap the previous episode. Episode 4 was the top 100 greatest debut songs of all time, which was a list compiled by Rolling Stone.
Right, and oh, baby, baby.
I love when you do the Britney.
Britney.
Is that 1999 Britney Spears, or is that 2007 Bald Britney?
No. This is first coming out Britney and coming out dancing like a schoolgirl, gymnasium, all that. Yes, that's the first.
That's the best Britney, right?
It really is.
Although I do like the work bitch Britney more recently.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good time.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts? What was the feedback you got on the Rolling Stone list?
There was a lot of listeners who thought they would make a better list than Rolling Stone.
Absolutely. I got the same thing, the same feedback.
They were like, really? Britney Spears? And then some of the artists that we were like, I don't even think they should have made the list. And some that were so far behind, yeah, they totally agreed with us.
I think we should get all those people together and then we should storm the offices of Rolling Stone and say, all right, we're taking over now.
Peacefully. And get those songs out there. I think we should compile our own list.
It was a fun episode to do. So if you haven't heard it, go check it out. Episode number 4.
Let us know your thoughts.
The top 100 greatest debut songs of all time compiled by Rolling Stone. We also posted the link on our Facebook and our Twitter, all of our social media channels. So go check that out at UTI Music Pod on Twitter, at Under the Influence Music Pod on Instagram and Facebook. What's in the blender for you this week? What have you been listening to over the last 7 days?
I've been going back to, they only put out one CD and I still love it. It's a group called Lucy Pearl. And it's an R&B group where they combine different artists from other groups to combine their own group. So you had Raphael Sadiq from Tony.
Okay.
Then Don Robinson from In Vogue. And then DJ Ali Shaheed from Tribe Called Quest. And they formed Lucy Pearl. It's an amazing sound.
That's a very diverse group, too.
It is. If you have not listened to Lucy Pearl,
check that out. Okay. So I've been on a little bit of a throwback vibe.
Okay.
Summer classics, mostly. Good summer songs that just give you those nice sunshine vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because I have vacation coming up in a couple of weeks.
Why.
So I'm ready to hit the beach. They're reopened again.
Woohoo!
It's going to be awkward, get my suntan on and still wearing the mask. But does it mean I have to have like a body mask on? That's called SPF.
You're right. lather it all over.
And trust me, I'm the pastiest person you'll ever meet. So SPF 85, we're going to crank it all the way up to there.
Just double it, whatever you got to do.
I'm going to double it. I'm going to do double layers.
Yes.
So I've been on a Summer Classics vibe, so maybe we could do an episode on that maybe next week.
Sure, yes.
Also, the band The Killers have a brand new song.
I've heard that. I haven't heard it yet, but I've heard that they came out with a new song.
It's called Caution. They're getting ready to release a brand new album soon.
And they're from Vegas, where it gets super hot.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of hot. So yeah, just been going back and listening to a lot of The Killers' old stuff.
Yeah.
Little walk down memory lane.
I like it.
All right, so let's get into what this episode is about. All over the world, racism and hate exist, but I want to spend some time on what's been happening in America, specifically over the last couple of weeks.
Right. I think the nation as a whole has been so divided because of the hate that's been projected. I see a lot of people who want to bring people together, be united, and bring that love and compassion back. But because people are angry, it's hard to see past that. So I think what we're trying to do is just, you and I, Jason, are just trying to do our part to bring a little bit of happiness, bring that smile back. And I feel like for the both of us, that music does that on a daily basis for us. Rediscovering old music, rediscovering new music, whatever. And I think music as a whole is very healing.
I was going to say, it definitely has healing powers.
Absolutely.
There's a song for everything, for every mood, for every emotion.
And I think now is more the time where people need to do whatever they can to be at peace, to project positivity. If it's listening to a song, if it's writing poetry, if it's going for a walk, whatever it is that you need to do to help others, to help yourself, I think now is the time to do it.
So how do you think, Adri, music has played a pivotal role in getting those kind of messages across about love, about, hey, we're equal, love one another, support one another?
Right. I wanted to use one song as an example, which is from Bob Marley,
okay.
One Love.
I've got that on, well, again, not a top anything list, but I've got that down in my notes.
We haven't talked about what songs we have. We have them written down on our own list, so I don't know what you chose.
Yeah.
But that song just resonates with me ever since I was a little girl to now. And it just embodies what I want this world to be like, just passionate, loving, positive.
I mean, you can't argue with it. Let's get together and we'll be all right. That is just soaked in positivity. It gives you that reggae energy, too.
Just that happy vibe. I mean, you cannot listen to that song and be hateful, be sad, be upset or angry. It just brings positivity out.
Talk about a summer classic.
Oh, absolutely. I could hear that day once a day if I had to for the rest of my life. Love it.
That probably should be essential listening.
It really should.
You know, we've been talking about who's an essential worker and this and that with coronavirus going on, but anything Bob Marley should be essential listening every single day. And if it doesn't lift your spirit, bro,
then I don't know what to do at that point.
You're just a miserable hag if you don't get lifted up by Bob Marley.
Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong.
So I like what you said on how music's played a pivotal role in getting those messages across, and we're going to kind of deep dive into that as we transition and kind of share our list of songs about change. We'll discuss each one, maybe how each song influenced or promoted that change, either at the time or still today. This is not a top 10 list. This is in no particular order. This is just
from the heart.
Right. Songs that, as we were sitting down making our notes for this week's episode, just whatever popped into the head.
Yes.
You know, and I did hit the Google machine a little bit, and I wanted to go back and make sure that the song I was referencing, I wasn't confusing the message and what it was originally about.
Right.
U2 Sunday Bloody Sunday is one that really stuck out. Now, that was more about the band U2 speaking out against violence against civilian protesters in their native of Northern Ireland.
Yes.
So didn't have a lot of feeling or meaning so much for the United States, but I think that song's still universal.
It's a powerful song. I remember hearing that song on a rock station, and I was like, wait, that's U2? Like, I didn't know it was them. And when I found out, like you said, what the backstory of it was about injustice. It was about all the things that people are protesting today.
How long must we sing this song? That question's maybe still being answered today.
It is.
It's ultimately a call to, lay down your weapons, cast violence aside. Think about that human cost of war.
It encompasses a ton of things. And like you said, it didn't exactly, it wasn't about the U.S., but people from the U.S. are huge U2 fans that could feel what they were speaking about, what they were writing, how passionate.
I think you could definitely consider U2 to be one of those bands who kind of were
very social.
Yeah, in every decade that they were a part of.
Oh, absolutely.
So starting back in like the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, a lot of civil unrest happening.
Right. And that's also, they consider themselves part of America,
right.
Part of American culture. And we embrace them because we love U2. They've done so much, donated tons of money to various different causes, both from the U.S. and from where they're from as well, Northern Ireland.
And some people consider them to be like a protest group or a protest band. I don't see them that way so much as I do. They're advocating for all the injustice in the world, and I feel like they're using their platform to let everyone who may not know what's going on in the world around them.
Right, their voice for those that don't have a voice.
Right. They got other great songs like about Martin Luther King Jr., In the Name of Love, or Where the Streets Have No Name. Angel of Harlem.
You could go on for days.
Yeah. What else did you have?
Okay, this one, every time I hear this song, it gives me chills. And I just have to stop what I'm doing and just be in the moment. And I know we talked about this song last week, John Lennon, Imagine.
Yeah.
When you hear that piano and you hear that voice, it just, do you feel chills?
I think it's one of those songs that it's instantly recognizable. I don't think that there's a song that speaks peace and harmony and love and acceptance of the human race than that one.
Right. And if you're a younger person and don't know, who the Beatles are, that's okay. Or John Lennon. We want to give you an education on John Lennon and how this song has been universally standing the test of time for so many years. And his vision was one world, one love, one unity.
Right.
And he was very outspoken. And he's not even from this country. It's like we were talking about U2 and how they're from Northern Ireland. And that love.
Why is it all the foreigners get it, but
totally
we can get it through our skulls?
We need to get it together and just.
I can't imagine no one's heard Imagine.
You have to.
It's one of those timeless classic songs. You've been somewhere and you've heard it. Maybe at the time you didn't know, like you said, you didn't know it was Beatles or you didn't know it was John Lennon, but you certainly have heard that song.
Yes, one time or another. And if you want to revisit it or you've never heard it, please listen to it. Give yourself that present.
Give yourself those feels for a moment.
I love it. I could go on and on and on.
All right, so I had Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Taking it back to those Motown vibes.
Love Marvin Gaye.
Haunted by the war, relational strife, racial prejudice around him. Marvin wrote the song in seclusion, ultimately transforming him from a Motown hitmaker to one of the most powerful voices of his generation. There was even a 2001 version that came out after September 11th. You remember that?
I was just going to tell you, do you remember all the amazing artists? Christina Aguilera, Mary J. Blige, Nas, Britney.
Bono from U2.
Bono, yes. It was an amazing remix. You cannot remix that. You can't redo that song, but they did an amazing job.
Yeah, Missy Elliott was on there. Wyclef Jean, who I'm a huge fan of. J-Lo, Destiny's Child. And then you had Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
Oh, his line in that, it definitely stands out.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, you would expect it to.
But, it's cool that they brought that many different genres, rock, hip-hop, R&B, pop, whatever, and they made it into this amazing song for the times.
Yeah, and the original, still stands the test of time.
Okay, I have to go with another one and this one has been remade as well. So, What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
And my husband did want to say that he loves Louis Armstrong, but he also loves the Ramones version. And it's a great version.
Great reimagining of it.
Anyone could reimagine that song.
Yeah, of course.
And it just reminds us to look at the beauty in the world and appreciate what we have when we have our family, our love, our friends. And when we see people helping other people, that's just what we need more of.
See, I didn't think about it that way. You just opened my eyes to a different perspective on that song because I also have a side business where I DJ weddings. I own my own mobile entertainment company. That's a song I play a lot at weddings. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's the father-daughter dance, or it might be the dance that the bride and groom want to share with their bridal party, or sometimes